introduce Dr. Paul Ekman. Paul and I had a really nice opportunity to visit. He's an extraordinary man. He is a professor emeritus at UC San Francisco. He spent many years working in some of the most advanced research in dealing with psychology, in particular, some of the subtle cues that occur in our visage, in our face, as we feel emotions and we convey them or choose not to. Around the world, more than 500 people, including neurologists, psychiatrists, psychologists, have learned Dr. Ekman's research tool called FACS, F-A-C-S, Facial Action Coding System, a process to decipher which of the 43 muscles in the face are working at any given moment, even when an emotion is fleeting. His articles have appeared in Time magazine, Smithsonian, Psychology Today, The New Yorker, and many others. He's had articles in the New York Times, The Washington Post, other newspapers. He's been a real leader in pulling together people to support this effort, and I'm just privileged to be on the stage with him, Dr. Paul Ekman.
I know I should call you Senator, but I feel I've already gotten to know you well enough to say thank you, Sam, for the introduction. My role really here tonight is to read to you the statements that were sent by two people, Alan Wallace, who was on the board of Tibet House, California, and then Robert Thurman. And Thurman will give you a little bit of the idea of what Tibet houses are around the world. So first, Alan Wallace, a world-famous scholar, writer, Buddhist teacher, inspirer of Ravi, collaborator of Kutsar, from whom you'll hear later, connected to many of us, a friend of mine as well. So I'm quoting Alan now. I'd like to offer my heartfelt support for the establishment of Tibet House, California, and its noble aspirations of striving to protect the human rights of the Tibetan people and to help preserve their unique culture. Thanks to our increased environmental awareness over the past several decades, modern society often goes to great lengths to preserve endangered species of plants and animals. In the case of Tibet, it is an ancient and immensely rich culture that is in danger. As the United States stands for freedom and the protection of human dignity everywhere, Tibet House, California has taken on the important task of ensuring that our country takes a firm stand in support of human rights in Tibet and throughout China as a whole. And now Robert Thurman. I wish I could give you Thurman's bibliography. It's quite noteworthy. He's quite a famous Buddhist scholar. And he's also famous for being the father of a famous actress who shares the same last name. All right, quoting Thurman. We at Tibet House US in New York are positively thrilled that His Holiness the Dalai Lama has given you the go-ahead and blessing to start a Tibet House California nonprofit, which was a dream of ours also from the beginning, that someone would be inspired to shoulder this responsibility. I'm looking at Ravi now. I'll be introducing him in a moment. But that remark is directed at Ravi. Thank you from the bottom of our hearts for fulfilling this dream of having Tibetan civilization and its precious culture represented in that marvelous, magic land on the West Coast. His Holiness just now in Ottawa is reported as saying the following, and now I quote from the Dalai Lama. The preservation of the Tibetan Buddhist culture was in the interest of not only the Tibetans, but the wider world. Even non-Buddhists find value in the Tibetan Buddhist culture, recalling a statement by a scientist at a Mind and Life conference who wished that the Tibetan debating system could be utilized for modern studies. The Dalai Lama has made a distinction between Tibetan Buddhism and Tibetan Buddhist culture. Tibetan Buddhism is of concern to Buddhists, he says, while Tibetan Buddhist culture is for the wider community. He refers to Tibetan Buddhist culture as a culture of peace, nonviolence, and of compassion. Now, the original Tibet House was founded in the 60s in New Delhi, and I had the honor of speaking there about 8 weeks ago. And ours in the U.S. was the second, founded in 1986 under the personal patronage of His Holiness. We assisted Casa Tibet Mexico and Casa Tibet Barcelona get started, and we've been working with the start from Tibetsky Dom Moscow. There are Tibet houses in Frankfurt, in Milano, Tokyo, and Paris in various stages of development. This network of Tibetan cultural embassies is very important to keep awareness of Tibet. Its uniqueness, beauty, and important special qualities alive in the minds of the world to assist Tibetans themselves to cultivate their cultural knowledge while living in exile, to eventually become destinations where people can enter a Tibetan atmosphere in a museum, a gallery, a library, a place of special Tibet-related events, and finally, after Tibet is eternally free, to help with the great work of rebuilding Tibetan culture in its homeland. In sum, congratulations, Ravi, on your altruistic, timely, and visionary effort. Welcome to the network. Best of good fortune and all blessings on your celebration. Thank you, Robert Thurman. We've heard already quite a bit about Ravi Thurman. He is the CEO of Telecommand Software and Services. He comes from the birthplace of Buddhism, but founded in America. He's a passionate, I'll repeat that, he is a passionate advocate of the people and culture of Tibet. He is also a budding filmmaker. Watch out, Francis Ford Coppola. And with his first documentary to be released at the end of the month, he leads One Bodhi Tree, a meditation group in Sacramento. I got to know Ravi 3 years ago when he helped me do some distance teaching in Thailand, where my daughter was located, and I was just coming in from a distance from San Francisco. And Ravi was just enormously gracious, helpful. Ravi is the kind of person who's always doing favors for you. That's his style, is to do favors for you. And I'm so delighted that he's at the heart of this, because I know Ravi's passion, his energy, they'll make this grow. And my vision for this is a place where the people of California, particularly Northern California, can learn more about Tibet. In Tibet House, where I spoke 2 months ago, when we asked how many people in the room were from Tibet, there was no one. The Tibetans know about Tibet. It was the Indians and the other expats who had come to learn about Tibet. And that's what Tibet House California can serve as, an opportunity for Californians to learn about this culture, which has a lot to teach us, quite precious. And so I turn it over now to Ravi Verma, who I've just introduced.